Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, students. Today we are going to continue the second stanza of the poem If. We have done the first stanza of this poem, and today we are going to continue from the stanza number 2. Yesterday we read that the poet Rudyard Kipling he sets some standard or ideals of morality he not only wants from his son to develop all those moral values, but he wishes to develop all those moral values in the readers as well, to lead a successful life. So let's begin. The second stanza. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim. Let me again make this thing clear to you that the red color symbolizes the grammatical explanation, and the purple color is used for the explanation of the lines, so that you may not feel any kind of difficulty. Let's begin. If you can dream, the poet says that it's really good, or it is the symbol, it is the sign of the great person. It is the sign of a hero, a kind of the one of the traits of the heroes, that they are all ambitious. They want to reach high. And the poet says that it's better to be ambitious, it's better to reach to the heights, it's better to reach or to fulfill your targets, but not make dreams your master. Means don't lose sight of the reality, don't go outside of the reality, be in touch with the reality. Do not be a daydreamer, because when you dream about your those targets, sometimes whether positive or negative, sometimes it happens that you dream for those things, for those targets that sometimes those seem impossible to be achieved. So then you reach to the heights of extremism. That is the reason that the poet says that being ambitious is really good. Dreaming here is not the dream that you that you go into dreams while sleeping. Dreaming means to fulfill your positive desires, to achieve your targets. But one should not be a daydreamer. One should be in touch with reality. Look here, what is the purpose of dash? As I yesterday told you that grammatically we use a comma here, apostrophe here, between the conditional structure and the result clause, conditional clause and the result clause. But the poet has used this dash between both the clauses for a purpose, and that is to put emphasis on the result clause and on if clause both. Then the poet says, if you can think. Again, thinking means making some plans, considering not only your plans but others' opinions as well, if they are positive. It's better to think about your plans, your future plans, but not make thoughts your aim. But again, the same thing, avoid overthinking, as he tells here that don't be a daydreamer. Be in touch with the reality. Similarly, he says that you should not overthink, or you should not think too much about about your aims, about the targets that you want. What is or in reality, or what are you facing the reality that should be followed. It means that poets wants us to look here, that this bracket shows that he wants us to develop balance. He wants a balance in life to be developed, and this stanza basically leaves a dramatic effect, means a huge dramatic effect in a way that you must be in reality. Do not go into the world of dreams. Then he says, if you can meet with triumph, triumph means success, and disaster, disaster is destruction. You can see triumph is opposite to disaster. Two opposite, you can say the terms are used, elements are used. If you can meet with triumph and disaster, can we meet the success and destruction? No. The poet has the poet has used the word of meeting here because the poet personifies both elements of coming in the journey of your life. He personifies them. He takes them as human characters. Sometimes it happens that some good people and some bad characters, some villain, they come into your life. So similarly the poet has taken both of the aspects, he has taken as personification, and the poet says, if you come across success in your life and disaster in your life, obviously both are part and parcel of everyone's life, and the poet suggests, advises that treat those two impostors. Imposters, again, imposter means the thing, the person which is not in real appearance. Means the one that, or anything that is in disguised. Disguised mean again the thing which is not in the real appearance. The poet says that these two imposters means triumph and disaster, success and destruction, failure. Treat them just the same. Just the same means treat both of them in the same way. If you come across success in your life, you should not get, or you should not become proud. You should not be overconfident. Similarly, when failure is faced by you, you should overcome your emotions, your nerves and strength, your abilities and capabilities, and you should develop the confidence to restart the things again. So similarly, the poet advises to deal with both the elements in the same way. Don't lose your strength. Don't be distracted in both the conditions, because this is the main thing. This is the main reason that the poet wants us to keep in mind, that they do not last ever. As being Muslims, we know, we believe that after your success, failure has to be faced by everyone, and whenever the failure will come, whenever the disaster will come in your life, you are going to meet the success as well. So by keeping this in your mind, develop the ideas, develop your life targets. Then the poet says, if you can bear to hear the truth, you can bear the truth. Bearing the truth is not the ability of everyone. You have spoken. It is have. You are. It is not. It is have. If you can bear to hear the truth, you have spoken. It means that this line shows that you have spoken truth. Being a truthful person is again another moral trait, moral value, ethical value, and the poet says, you know that you have spoken the truth, but what happens? That truth is twisted by knaves. Knaves means a dishonest person. What was the truth? What was the reality? If you have ability, if you can bear, if you have the patience to listen to that, to the reality, that the dishonest person, that knave, has twisted, changed, or misled that truth, just to mislead you or to mislead other people. obviously it is really you can say an aspect, an element that can make you hopeless. And what was the purpose? To make a trap for fools. The poet says that to make a trap for fools means that that person has twisted your truth just to make you fool. It means that people may twist your words, but you need to develop patience. Patience is important to be developed. This is the advice by the poet. So then poet says that or watch the things you gave your life to broken. It means that sometime it happens that the sacrifices in your life, or all the things that you have done in your life, you lose them. And all of the things, everything in your life, you lose that. It is broken means that you lose that thing, or those, all of those things, you lose them. It is we can say that it's hyperbole means let me recall that something hyperbole is when you exaggerate, when you give overstatement about something, some facts. And the poet says that when you lose, or when the things are broken, why it is hyperbole? Because it rarely happens that everything in your life is devastated, is destroyed or damaged, or you lose that. Time to time it really happens with everyone, that disasters, failures, happinesses, success, we do come across everything, but it rarely happens that all of your life, everything throughout of your life, you are or you remain on the loser sides. So this is why the poet, it is hyperbole. The poet, the purpose is that the poet's purpose of using the hyperbole is that sometimes, for example, assume you are, God forbid, at that stage that everything is lost in your life, you are broken. Even then, at that level, at that stage, the poet advises, and stoop means bend down. Bending down means be humble even in that situation. Don't complain, and build them up. What we need to build them up? Can we build all the sacrifices? Can we rebuild those successes? It is metaphorically taken. How metaphorically? Because you need to build up the human potential. You need to build up your courage, your willpower, your stamina, and your emotions. That is why it is metaphorically taken. Build up everything, all the moral and values, or all the virtues that the poet talks about, with worn out tools. Worn out means destroyed. Tools. Which tools? Are there any tools to lead life? Or are there any tools that when you are destroyed, with those tools you can build up your life? Physically, those are not, such kind of tools are present. The tools poet talks about are again the moral values, the ethical values like patience, courage, willpower, and all others that the poet has mentioned. So beautiful advice, a beautiful guidance is provided to everyone. That is why it is called a universal. The message is universal in the poem, means for everyone. The message is not only for the poet's son. The poet says, be humble, build up your human potential, build up all the tools that you used earlier, and you reached to the heights of triumph and success. It doesn't matter that you are on the loser sides now, you are in the state of disaster and destruction. Don't get worried. That's a beautiful explanation and beautiful advice. moving ahead towards the stanza number 3. The poet says, if you can make one heap of all your winnings, heap of winnings, it is again metaphor is used, metaphorically used. Heap means winnings is your again successes, your strength, your sacrification, whatever you achieved, your achievements in life. The poet says that if is there, if you are asked to make a heap, to collect all the achievements, whatever you have done, what to do with your achievements? Collect, gather everything achieved and risk it, and take a risk, and is circled here. What is the purpose? I will explain you. And risk it on one turn of pitch and toss. Pitch and toss basically is a game of chance. It was a game played in England, but it is not played now. It was basically it began in England, and it is the game of chance. You know that toss is done in every, almost every game it is used, but here it is pitch and toss mean it is the imagery basically of risk. It is the imagery, and the poet actually wants us to take risk in life. Let me explain again that if you are asked, sometimes it really happens, students, in your life that you are forced by the society, by the situations, by the circumstances to sacrifice, to take the risk of all the achievements, whatever you have done. Or take a chance. You must know that our life, the role of chance in our life is really very much important. By chance, sometimes a situation is turned completely, or that we cannot overcome that. We cannot understand what has happened, whether bad or good. And the poet says that if you are asked to put all of your achievements at risk, then the poet says, take risk. Don't get worried. And is used again. This conjunction, repetition of this conjunction is to put emphasis on patience. And this has happened. And then again, one thing has happened. That this and is repeatedly used in the stanza to put emphasis. And the poet says, and lost. And what are you asked to do? To lose everything, to put all the achievements on risk. Take risk, lose everything. Don't forget, don't look back, and start again at your beginnings. And the poet says, when you lost everything is lost, all the achievements of your life. Never quit. It is quit. Never give up. Means you should not lose strength, you should not lose stamina. Start again. And then this is basically starting again. You know that this is the not the quality of a common man, starting from the ashes, when you were destroyed, when you became ash, completely devastated, and starting from the beginning is the quality of the heroes. So start again from the dead, then you will be considered a hero in your life. And never breathe a word about your loss. And the poet says, never breathe means never complain, never cry, never mourn. Never say a word of your loss, because whatever was achieved, whatever you enjoyed in your life, sometimes it becomes necessary to take risk. Though we should not take risk all the time in every step of your life. We should not take risk, but sometimes it is the demand of the situation to take risk, to go to the higher, to reach to the higher, or to reach your target. Again, repetition of and risk it, and lost, and never. This is again to put the stress. Now, hopefully, you are understanding the message conveyed by the poet. So, the poet says that you should not complain, because when you complain, it means that you are losing your strength. Then the poet says, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew. Look here, and. Again, the repetition is used, repetition of the conjunction, again for the purpose of stress and emphasis on the idea, on the theme that the poet wants to convey, the message. And if you can force, it means when in such kind of situation, in such a kind of circumstance, you need to force yourself. Forcing means you need to convince yourself, convince your emotions, your heart, convince your mind, your nerve, your strength, your ability. And sinew basically is the tough tissues, mental tough tissues. Again, the same that the poet wants us to develop a balance between your emotions and the mind. You know that the mind accepts the reality. It does accept the reality. But what happens that your emotions, your heart, it keeps on feeling those failures or success in your life, and does not sometimes, and specifically in failures, does not get settled. So the poet wants to develop a balance by being patient in your life. And if you are able to convince and force yourself, your heart, your nerves, your mind to create a balance and develop the patience, then you can achieve again all the lost status, and you can achieve again all those achievements that are taken away from you. A beautiful advice again: to serve your turn long after they are gone. Again, this is linked with the previous line, that to serve your turn means to regain that status, to achieve that lost status once that you have lost. After you lose, even after you lose courage, you need to develop your willpower. You need to develop your courage of your emotions, and your mental strength is important to gather your strength, so that you can achieve all again the lost status. And then the poet says beautiful lines, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. A beautiful incomparable lines. Really it's a motivational point for every one of us. The poets, again, the conjunction is used, and so hold on. Look here, the repetition of hold on. Again, now you must have understood that the repetition of the conjunction, repetition of the conditional structures, conditional if, and repetition of some of the expression, the purpose is to put emphasis on the idea given in that clause. The poet says, if you are faced or if you have faced all such kind of situation, hold on means be patient. Develop patience when there is nothing in you. When there is nothing in you, if I ask, what will be your state? What will be your condition? You will feel you are devastated, damaged, destroyed. You are become just an ash. Your worth is no more than the ash. It means you are insignificant in your life. You feel that there is no purpose of your life. You feel that you are aimlessly roaming in the world. This becomes the condition of men, because your heart makes you feel that, your emotions make you feel this situation, face the situation that in which you are. But hold on, be patient, develop your emotions, or restart again your mental and your ability of your emotions. Gather that strength, and the poet says everything will be destroyed from your personality, everything except the will. This will is not the helping verb. This will basically is the personification, which says to them, can the will means your strength, your strong intention, your willpower, your courage, your persistence, your patience. This is the willpower the poet is talking about. This is not the helping verb. It is personification is used here. Human characteristic is given to that this is only the if you are having willpower in yourself, the courage in yourself, the strength in yourself, then only this is the only thing that will say to you, hold on, be patient, have a control over the situation. You are going to win. You are going to win the race of your life. That is why, because this is again the quality of not a common man. It becomes the quality of the heroes, that to get up, stand up, move ahead, start again in your life. You are going to achieve the lost target. So the next stanza, what is the message of the poet? If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue. Talking the crowd basically symbolizes common people. Common people, or you can say those who are coward, who are not bold, who are ambitionless, spiritless, aimless people. So crowd is the common people, common specifically those people who are, as I told you, are not capable of doing anything. Keep your virtue means your which virtue? Virtue that you maintain your strength. Don't get involved into bad things. Don't become a common man. Being in those company, you should not lose your strength. Or walk with kings. A king basically is a symbol of upper class, is not the symbol of monarchs. Whether do you sit with monarchs, whether you sit with upper class, or some people of high ranks, even if you are in their company, nor lose the common touch. Never forget that you started from the beginning. You are from the beginners. You are from those people that you are from those people who are self-made. Don't forget your common touch means stay to your roots. Don't act like the upper class. Don't be proud at all. Don't present yourself like they are. Again, in both the conditions, you can observe here crowd and kings. Opposites are used, and the contrasting ideas are used. Again, there is a purpose that both the situations are faced naturally by men. In both the situations, we should have control over our abilities. We should not get involved into others. Then the poet says, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if you are going to have foes and friends, again crowd and kings, opposite ideas, contrasting ideas, foes and friends, again contrasting ideas. Look at the purpose. The purpose is to maintain the balance, to make you feel in both the opposite situation. It becomes your responsibility to maintain the balance. If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if you are not going to involve in both the condition with commoner people or with kings, your enemies will, or your clever enemies will never be able to hurt you, and you're so called loving friends who basically do not love you, because you know that everyone in the world is selfish, or due to only his self interest, he always remains with you in your company. So if you are going to maintain the balance, control over your personality, your friends and your enemies will never be able to make you or will be able to destroy you. So be in touch with your roots. This is the message of the poet. Then the poet says, if all men count with you, but none too much. Count means depend. Sometimes it happens that just for their own self interest, by being selfish, to show selfishness, so the people depend on you all the time. They are not loyal to you. And the poet says, if they depend upon you, helping others in the situations, in some of the situations, in critical situations, it's one of the really great virtues. It is the nobility of the man to help others. But if you're observing that the people are counting on you, means they are depending on you, and they are just making you fool, then the poet advises, none too much, means don't let them do this, don't let them be dependent on you, never be fool, because you have your own strength, your own willpower, and you should not lose your strength just to by becoming fool. Another good advice, and because this is the common attitude of the people in life, that they fulfill their aims by using you. The poet says, if you can fill the unforgiving minute. Unforgiving minute means don't lose even a single minute. And the poet says, with 60 seconds worth of distance run, means without wasting time, because you cannot avail time when it is lost. Time, you know, that does not wait for anyone, for anything. Without wasting time, take advantage of that moment, be effective, and go to achieve your targets. With 60 seconds worth of distance run means that to avail the time and to keep moving or keep running on the pace, with the same pace, with the same intention that you just started your journey from, and never waste your time. Then because you are from the beginners, you are the person who started, who worked hard in life, who lost everything in life, who put every achievement of the life at risk and lost everything, faced the devastated situation, the critical situation, and but even you started from the ashes and rebuilt your willpower, your patience, your courage, your moral and ethical values. You are that person, and don't forget that you didn't forget the common touch, and then you started again from your from the ashes, from the destruction. And that is the reason the poet advises to the readers and to the son that keep moving with the same pace that you started your journey from, so that you can achieve the lost targets, the lost status. And the last lines, a beautiful advice from a father to the son. The father who himself, since his childhood, let me recall the reality that since his childhood, who been facing this problem, who been facing the devastation, destruction in life, and he's advising his son, yours is the earth and everything that is in it, and which is more, which is more. Look here again, the dash is used here to put this stress. Exclamation sign is used here. You will be a man, my son. Yours is the earth, everything in it, and even and. Gap is there, which is more. Gap is there. You will be a man, my son. Exclamation is used for the sake of encouragement, to encourage, to motivate the son, that the reality faced by his father, if such reality is going to be faced by the son, he advises that if you are going to develop the moral values that the poet has taught, then without wasting time, if you keep on moving with the same pace on the journey, the earth is your, everything is your, even more what you want to achieve, which you even never imagined. Hyperbole is used here basically. Again, that this circle shows that it is the grammatically hyperbole, because this life is so much hard and cruel that does not let you to achieve everything, even that was that you have not imagined, that you have not dreamt in your life, beyond limits. That is why it is hyperbole. But the purpose of this exaggeration is that you can achieve, or you can make any impossible into possible. Beautiful, encouraging lines, motivating lines for every one of us. And the poet says that everything will be yours, my son. You will be a man. M capital shows that you will be a great man. You will be the real man. And the real man is the one who is going to develop the following characteristics, the following traits: patience, persistence, maintenance of the balance, whether it is the maintenance of your mental and your physical, your emotional balance, or the balance of the situations in life. Be a good man by developing moral values. These are the moral values. These are basically the traits, the standards of morality, the ideals of morality that the poet wanted not only from his son, but every one of us to develop these. This is basically stoicism. These are the qualities of a stoic, that the poet believed in that philosophy. And this philosophy really must appeal every one of us in our life, that all the being Muslims specifically, we need to develop all the moral traits that the poet has talked about. And what I feel personally after reading the works of the poet, specifically this motivational poem, I feel that the situation that the poet has himself has faced, we do not find any kind of pessimism, hopelessness in his poetry, in his work. And this gives us the message to be strong, to restart the life again, or take the revival in your life, and be the real man that he wants from his own son to be. So a beautiful ending of the poem, that the father is giving pieces of advice and guidance to his son. So this is all about the poem. If you must have understood, because in detail I have explained the explanation of the lines along with the grammatical structure, what basically was the intention of the poet to use the grammatical structure. So as I yesterday told you, to focus not only on the use of grammatical structure, but on focus on the explanation as well, and get ready for the next assignment. So the next assignment that I am giving you is to make 2 questions from each stanzas. You have done already first stanza, 2 question from second, 2 from third, 2 question from fourth stanza. And also prepare themes, any two themes. I advise you to prepare all the important themes, but any two themes, select from the themes that I have mentioned in the beginning of the lecture, in the first lecture. Select two themes and write two themes on any of the topic you like. And what is important, to make two question, it is necessary to make two questions from each stanza and send to your respective teachers on your respective groups. Then your attendance will be marked. Till that, Allah Hafiz, and thank you so much.